Let's face it, if you're a lawyer or a law student, you are facing stress every day. It's a common denominator. It's like the fact, it's the air you breathe, the water you swim in, and that's what happens as you practice law. Well, guess what? Today, we're going to give you 5 tools, 5 ways that you can reduce your stress and cut it in half, and just stay tuned. Here we go. Okay, so here's the first thing. Number 1 is prioritize on self-care. I know, blah, blah, blah. People are always saying, take care of that where you've got a court date, you have a deposition, you have all these things and deadlines and appointments. But if you don't take care of yourself, the whole ship goes down. You have the law practice, you have your clients, you have your family, and if you don't have mental, physical, and emotional health, nothing matters. So therefore, you have to prioritize self-care. You have to find out what is the recipe that allows you to go, what feeds your engine? Is it going to play racquetball? Is it going to play tennis or pickleball? Is it going to play golf? Is it going to hang out with friends? Is it going to dinner, going to a movie, getting a massage, doing whatever you need to do to take care of you? Because without you, without your joy, without your not feeling enthusiastic about what you're doing, you're going to hit a wall and go into burnout. And we know where that leads. It leads to depression. We don't have to do that if we just make little bits of time for self-care. Okay, here's number 2, is you got to manage your time wisely. One of the big headaches and problems that many lawyers face is billable hours and trying to keep track of the billable hours. And there you are at the end of the month scrambling, trying to figure out what happened all month so that you can record it and turn it in. That is an enormous headache. Talk about being stressed. You're really stressed every day because you know you have not recorded your time. But that's not the only part of managing your time. You want to be able to be in charge or be ahead of getting your time in and organizing your day. So I always say the night before you leave the office, write down 3 to 5 things you're going to do the next day. What are the priorities? While it's fresh on your mind before you leave home, too many attorneys find themselves getting into the office, going on social media, checking email, answering phone calls, doing everything, shuffling papers around their desk because they can't remember what the heck they're supposed to be doing. So if you write those things down at night and put it in a very prominent place so that when you come into the office, you know those are the things that you need to concentrate on. Before email, before phones, before social media, knock those things out of the ballpark. Many times, some of my clients have been able to do those things before noon or 1 o'clock, before lunch. Then they have the rest of the day to do things like emails, social media, talking with clients, and setting appointments. So it's very important to manage your time. The third thing is you have to have support. Sometimes lawyers and attorneys and law students can be the most lonely individuals because they're doing this uphill battle all alone. It's like tunnel vision. There's no one around you. But you have a support team. If you're in school, get with other students and create a support team. If you're in the office, your staff, your paralegal, be a team. Don't just curtly say hello and goodbye so that they're just like pieces of wood that you're working with who do things right or wrong. Have a relationship with them. Build a team so you're all doing the same thing. The other thing is you want to have a networking. You want to have a network of people who support you, who are going through the same thing. Go to networking events. Have lunch with some of your colleagues or your friends. Create new relationships and friends. Go out with other couples. Go out with other friends. Socialize. Those are things that will enormously relieve your stress. You won't feel alone. And you deserve to be happy and healthy and have friends and a support team as well. Is mindfulness. I know. A lot of you may think mindfulness is woo-woo or this thing that some sort of spiritual or whatever people do. But let me tell you, mindfulness is an art of focus of mind. Great golf champions, great athletes, they have learned how to tame their mind. And I bet you if you talk to most of them, they have some sort of form of mindfulness. You too can have mindfulness. It's like having your mind and your body and your work all in the same thing. How often have you driven home from work thinking about everything else and you end up pulling up in your driveway and you don't even know how you got there? That's because your mind is way over here and you're here. So bringing it all together with certain practices. If you don't want to do meditation, even 5 minutes of meditation, in a previous video, I actually gave you a 5-minute exercise so that you can do mindfulness and release your stress and become more effective in your work. Also, mindfulness can include going for a walk, going for a swim, going to do some sort of sports, listening to music. All those things are things that will help you to bring your mind and your body together. And this is what will help you to feed your fire. It will feed your fire so that you are really knocking the ball out of the ballpark when you get to the office. And you leave the office refreshed, having accomplished a lot, having gotten a lot of billable hours, and your bank account balance will continue to increase just based on your ability to be in charge of your mind through the practice of mindfulness. This is number 5, work-life balance. So many people are talking work-life balance, work-life balance. Well, there's really no such thing as work-life balance, doing it perfectly, but you can be in the arena of having work-life balance. So what that means is you have to just really make a time that you're going to turn the phone off. You're going to leave the office behind. And when you're in the office, you can leave, you can find time to be in communication with your family, but don't allow it to take up your whole day. So here's what you do. You come home from work, try to have dinner with your family. You'd be surprised at how you're creating memories and you're building harmony in your family. Too many parents are strangers to their kids. They get home and it's like, they're in this room and they're in that room, they're on their device, you're on your device. Nobody knows anybody. And it's like, who is the stranger in my household? And then there's like disagreements and all of that. You can't have work-life balance if you don't have a relationship with your family. If you don't have a date night with your wife, or you don't have a date night with your husband or your partner, or you're not going out and going for walks and enjoying life. If you don't enjoy life, you're just working, then what's the joy of anything? Then everything, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's always a work in progress to find ways to balance life, to balance work, so that you feel full and you feel that you're accomplishing your goals. There we have it. 5 ways that you can reduce your stress. Self-care, time management, having a support team, building your community, mindfulness, making as little as 5 minutes a day for mindfulness, and work-life balance. You can do it. I know you can. Thank you for joining us. Please click the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you'll be alerted for our next video. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.